graduated from the UF Teach program in the spring of 2014. I currently work as a 10th grade biology teacher at Westport High School down in Ocala. I spent multiple years in UF Teach, and I always had a good feeling about it and that it was really going to prepare me well for the future as a teacher in a career, especially teaching science. And one of the biggest things that has transferred over and helped me the most currently this year has been the classroom experience. At my high school, there are a lot of new teachers in the same boat that I am, first year, fresh out of college. And to say that it's a sink or swim environment isn't that much of an exaggeration. And having UF Teach as a background has been an absolute life raft. Not even just in terms of helping my students, but also keeping myself grounded, positive, and confident in the classroom. With that classroom experience, I got a ton of jitters out of the way. I got a ton of bad habits out of the way. I got an awesome experience working with incredible teachers in Alachua County that all of my other peers that were not in a UF Teach type program did not have that experience. So that's been huge, again, for that confidence in the classroom with what I'm doing with the students. One major thing that I learned from UF Teach was flexibility. In the classroom, nothing's the same every day. You can plan a lesson and know exactly how it's going to go in your head, and then you get in the classroom, first period goes exactly how you planned, and then second period rolls around and there's a fire drill, or someone cuts themselves with a scalpel, or something goes wrong, and you have to be able to roll with the punches. And my classroom experience with UF Teach was absolutely fundamental in helping me keep a cool, calm, collected demeanor so that the students knew, whatever is happening, whatever questions are being asked, whatever distractions there might be, we're still here to learn, we're still focused, and Mr. Hartman's still in charge. And that flexibility also goes into teachable moments, which are some of the best time spent in class, where a good question from a student or a good insight from a student that no one else had ever heard of can really take the level of critical thinking about a subject to a higher level than you had really ever planned, which just opens the door to a lot more understanding with that content. Another thing that was hugely helpful for me from UF Teach was planning. Lesson planning was something I struggled with in UF Teach, got better at, and now I'm really getting very sound with as a professional. Really taught me what works, what doesn't work. In UF Teach, we get a lot of hands-on experience with current pedagogy. The master teachers that we work with, our mentor teachers that we work with, they know what works. They read, they're up on the current research, the current psychology, how students learn, how we can teach to best get that learning out of them. And that really finds a great marriage in my planning now, and that's hugely due to UF Teach. The last thing, again, I just mentioned was the mentor teachers and the master teachers. They were absolutely fundamental in not just preparing me pedagogically, like I was saying, but also professionally. They showed me what a real teacher in a classroom looks like, how a real teacher in a classroom presents themselves, how a real teacher interacts with students. At the high school level, I'm not that much older than my students, and instead of that being a detriment, as it has been with some of my peers, it's been a really big boost because I'm able to ride the line and stay professional while still maintaining that close proximity in age, so we have big overlaps in likes and interests that I can draw on to help keep them engaged in learning the subjects. I was never exploratory, but I went to the academic advising and talked with an advisor there, and thought through the process of maybe teaching is a good idea for me. My mother is a teacher; she was a principal. My brother, he is currently a teacher. My father was a teacher. I have lots of background in education, so I just knew that was something I could do, but I wanted to explore a little bit first. But my first experience with UF Teach, I wasn't sold on teaching as a future career. But the fact that the first class I took here got me in the classroom with a teacher that knew how to handle me, answer my questions. I still remember Mr. Fournier at Kanapahau Middle. He was just excellent. He really showed me that maybe teaching's not the greatest salary-wise, but really we can make a difference in the lives of a lot of students. And so that was a huge draw for me, and kept me going and wanting more and more of those classroom experiences. And it's something that keeps me going every day this whole year as a new teacher. Is even on the worst days, I still can leave with a smile on my face because I know somehow, some way, I made a difference. Whether they liked it or not, they learned some biology that they can apply at a future time, and that can make a difference in their lives. And so that's been huge, and that was a huge decision, part of my decision in joining UF Teach.